All right, maybe that worked. All right, what are you claiming? Oh, this is the game you were white. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is a game that Trying to Learn played in a real tournament over the board, slow chess, about 3 days ago, I guess, or 2 days ago. Um, yeah. He said he doesn't play D4 often. This was like his first venture. Okay, so this is a very common mistake my students make, even though I don't teach anymore. How do my students make mistakes if I don't have any students? Anyway, their knight's pinned and they play A3 when they're white or A6 when they're black. Yeah, don't do that. Like that doesn't help. So whatever you were gonna do, do that, and then let the guy take this. You take back, and then you didn't waste a tempo with A3. Also, when the guy does take this, you'd rather have your pawn on A2 so you can play bishop A3 occasionally. Occasionally. So A3 is a loss of tempo. That's not very good. Okay. And the rest of the game was just normal. These moves are. Game made perfect sense. Yeah. Very reasonable. Yeah. These moves are all just good. Yeah. No, I mean, okay, maybe you're not Carlsen, but I'm not Carlsen either. So, yeah, all these moves are very, very reasonable. All of them. Yeah, I got nothing to say. Yeah, probably I wouldn't play that move, but all right. A4 I like because you want to get rid of your isolated pawn. A5 is risky because it weakens this, but okay, it's all right. Okay, so normally you want to play E4, and it's a big fight for E4. Thus far, both of you have played quite well. Probably you've played better because your opponent played C5 and A5. Okay, now you definitely want to play for E4. So this is the time you should never play F3 and then play E4 and get your center going. So H3 is, a little meek. It's not going to affect the result of the game. King H8 doesn't make any sense. Rook C1 doesn't make any sense. But they don't hurt you. It's fine. Okay. I would definitely play F3, E4 now. The engine plays D5, sacking a pawn, because it opens up like the bishop and the knight, and you get all kinds of tactical tricks. But okay, I don't care about that. All right. Taking's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Bishop H2 is good. Yeah. King H8, King G8. Bishop E2 is fine. F5, C5, A5. I don't know, man. Yeah. Okay, now you play D5 because you saw this open diagonal here. That's a very good move. Yeah. You want to open the center up because your bishops are better than his knights. And the fact that he has almost every piece on a white square means you want to open the white squares. So the problem is if he doesn't take on D5, you take on E6 and it's hanging. It's probably safer, but it's not good. It's worse according to the engine. He has to do this. And you can't take on D5. It's defended. Yeah. And C4 is good. Yeah. So your bishop is very good now. This B pawn's really weak. He opened up his king. So the problem is, this is hard to explain to you guys. If you asked me, what does black want to do? I'll tell you what black wants to do. Unfortunately, what black wants to do might help white more than black. So black's options are to do nothing and hope not to lose, or to play on the king's side and open up his own king. He could play knight e5 and put his queens and rooks on the king's side and play g5. I mean, that's his plan, but I don't like that plan. That plan, white's king has all these things in front of it. So black's king is going to have nothing in front of it if he does that. That's just going to make the bishop stronger. But otherwise, black doesn't have a good plan. Black can just chill out, and white's going to push black back because, always bet on black. Okay, knight f6 is not what I would have played, I don't think. All right, h4 is a crazy move. It doesn't lose. You played h4 because you wanted to play f3 and trap the knight. I guess. But the problem is, if he sees that you're going to play f3 and trap the knight, which he did, then you don't want to play h4. So this pawn's very weak because it's not defended. So if you play bishop d3, you would also be threatening f3, but you wouldn't be weakening your position. And your bishop's really good on d3. So that bishop d3 would be an excellent move. Queen c2 is good with the same idea. This move is a little risky. Okay. And your opponent went here, which is fine. It turns out it's fine. h4 doesn't ruin anything. You're good. Okay, g6 is okay. And you could take a pawn here, which the engine does not do. The engine plays h5, which I would not do. Played rook b1, I like that. That's a good move. f3 is fine. And then e4 is fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is really good. Your pawn pushes actually are gaining space, and his knights are no good. And these are the Mark Dvoretzky superfluous knights. Now, I know trying to learn, I even know his real name, which is crazy. And in my opinion, which is a weird opinion, you're playing too good. You don't play this good usually. Like you played a4. See, here's what I mean. I don't mean you're not blundering or playing silly moves. I don't care about that. When you and your opponent are both making random legal moves that you think are good and they think are good, you're playing better than him by quite a bit. So for example, a4 is a very good move. Rook b1 is a very good move. f3, e4 is a good move. Bishop f1 was a good move. Queen c2 was a good move. And your opponent, did like a knight's tour. And now their knights are superfluous. So Dvoretzky's rolling around in his grave somewhere. So I like it. I like it. Yeah. No, his real name is Trying to Learn. That's actually his real name. Yeah. Okay, so he took, you took, excellent. Rook e8, e5, good, great. Yep, and then you're crashing through. You got Dave Matthews all over him. Yeah. Good. Great. Yeah. Yeah, and it says you're plus 10. Yeah, this is like how Magnus wins. Except his opponents are usually better than yours. Yeah, this is frankly ridiculous. Engine announces mate. Yeah, very good. Yeah, if queen takes bishop, then queen g8 mate. Yeah. All right, now in this position, you have mate with queen b8, but that's not the point. Now, normally I would yell at you for trading queens here, but I'm not going to because the game's over, so it doesn't matter what you do. In general, when your king is safer than your opponent's, you don't trade queens because you want to mate them. So if the queens are on the board with your bishop on e6, you're going to mate your opponent. Now, obviously, you should be looking at checks and captures. So if you saw that check and then you saw bishop f5 check, those are all checks, then you wouldn't have played queen takes queen. But okay, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. But again, you don't want to say sentences like this wins because that insinuates that other moves don't win. Let me give you an example. Let's say we started a game of chess and I took off 4 of my pieces, my 2 rooks and my 2 knights. Okay. And I played e4 and you played knight a6. And I said, why did you play knight a6? And you said, because it wins. It does win, but that's not a reason to play a move. When you are winning and every move wins, you can't make a move and say it wins. That's not, I know you're winning. So when you're trading queens, you don't say, I traded queens because that wins. Like everything wins here. If you don't hang your queen, you're going to win. King h2 wins, bishop g4 wins, queen b8 check wins, queen f3 wins. Probably there's 25 legal moves that win. The question is, do you want to trade queens or you don't? The answer is you don't. Because you're going to checkmate if you don't trade queens. Trade queens, you might die of a heart attack. You might have to leave. Your flag might fall. You might get forfeited for cheating. So, yeah. So you want to win the quickest way. Yeah. All right. Everything wins. So You can't make a move and say it wins. That's, no. Gotta win the best way. Okay. Anyway, c'est pas différence. Yeah. Anyway, you play. Okay, that's ridiculous. Letting him queen. You can't let him queen. Now I understand it's mate and it doesn't matter, but you don't let him queen. Yeah. You take that way. Yeah. Yeah. And here you could play bishop here, bishop here. And you're like, I knew it was mate. I mean, I might let him queen, but you can't do that. What if you miscount the pawn race? I've seen you play. All right. Good job. Good job.